Hello everyone, this is a quick guide on UK. This is the results. Now this is the construction. Now if you want, you can build here on this one, this one, and this one. You can build infrastructure if you want, and then start to build the civilian factories. Because as UK is the same as the Soviet Union, you start with the civilian economy and you basically build -30 on civilian factory, but for your infrastructure you can build them as normal, which means it's actually worth it to build maximum infrastructure, and then once you go to early mobilization or partial, it's actually smarter to start building some of them and then go on military. Let's say you build those and then you go to military. Now for your military factories, also never forget the trains. They're very important. Also, as the UK, you're gonna need a lot of trucks. Those planes are not good, you're gonna change them, but I guess you can leave only one on plane for the start of the game and go maybe something like this much better. And then once you unlock this one, we don't have any XP at the start. Once you get XP, you can start reducing this and putting more factors on this one. Now for your focus tree, your first focus, as always, is limited rearmament. Now at the start of the game, Germany, most of the time if you play historically, does the Rhine. You might be able to do the shadow sim here. It's very good to do it early, as fast as you can, and then you go down here, you get this one. Yeah, this one is really strong to get it, the military factories. This one is also you get the research slot here. And if Germany, if you can do it early as the second focus, then your second focus is here. You go here, steady as it goes. Maybe you can go here and do this one, not steady as it goes. You can do this one, reinforce the empire, and you can do service overseas. And when you do service overseas, it will also give you air XP, navy XP, and army XP, which you need for your navy, army, and air force. After that, you can continue here if the world tension rises. If the world tension isn't high enough, you can continue here and do steady as it goes, go home defense and get this one here for building military factories. And after that, you should be able at some point be able to do this one. And once you do this, you go down here. And basically, we want to come here and get the fighter 2 as fast as possible. Yeah, also this one, after you get the fighter 2 here, you get the bonus for the fighter 2. Down here, you have to get this. This is very strong because it gives you -10 production cost, which means you're gonna build 10% faster. And after that, you come here, back here. Once you get closer to the war, you have to do this one for more stability. Here, this one if you have any population problems at the start of the war. And also here, navy at some point, it's also really good, and some bonuses here and here. Also for this one, you don't really need it, but if you don't have to do any useful focuses, you can take it, I guess. So this is about it for the focus tree of the United Kingdom. Now for your division templates, as always, this is your starting division template, and you basically, the best template you can do at the start of the game for a defensive template, you can do this and just put some anti-air here, and this is a good defensive division. Now if you want something to go on the offense and you also win the air war, you are gonna do a 40 with artillery, and here you can delete this since you are gonna win the air war, and you can put recon. Once you unlock here this and this, or maybe you can go with field hospitals, you can always come here and put here also them for more bonuses and make this division. Now, once you unlock this one at least, once you have the XP here for your airplane, your first plane you're gonna start to build here is this one, the Hurricane. And if you have the heavy machine guns, let me see here, if you can have them early. At least you should have researched this one and this one. So this is your starting airplane. Once you have the XP here and you change this one, you get the Hurricane here. You can also change the icon. Let me find it. Yeah, this is the icon. And you put the Hurricane, and instead of this one you start building this, which is much better for the start of the game. You don't want to go with a biplane into a war. And once you start building this, you can go maybe some out of the guns and some out of the artillery, and put as many here, focus here as you can. Now for the late design, once you unlock the fighter here, and you also get the bonus, once you get the bonus from here, it's this one here. Once you get the bonus, you start researching. Also you can get the bonus from here. Yeah, it's this one. You get 15% for research, and you can research this a lot faster. Once you unlock it, you must also unlock here this, and if you can also the engines. You can do it later, you don't lose much production, but it's good to have it with this one at the time. And for the late airplane, here the Spitfire, you go engine 3, you have to put the heavy machine guns as always, and the 2 cannons. For here you have to do self-fuel tanks, and the armor is always the best option. If you need range, if range is really important to you, if you fight here, mostly here in Europe, range should not be really a problem, but if you fight here, range is more of a problem because it's further away from the front line. Also in Asia, it's even worse here if you fight with Japan. So keep that in mind. Armor plate is always the strongest if you go against Germany. So here is your late game design, and this also goes for even later if you unlock the fighter here. Now for the navy, you can leave those to build at the start of the game, as always if you want. Now this is your early carrier. This is actually a very good design for an early carrier, so you can build this with no problems. If you want, always it's a good option to get a designer, maybe for the armor, maybe here for better production cost, but you lose range. You can choose this one. I think is the strongest one for with the +1 deck size. And also always remember here this one is one of the strongest, because here this makes it a lot cheaper. It makes it 30 from 150. And basically, let me show you right now. I can make, let's say I want to make a design for this one. This one is perfect, but let's say I want to change it because I want to get the bonus from this one. I want to get this bonus for the deck size. I don't really care about the armor, it's a carrier anyway. So what I do at the start of the game, I remove this one, I press here, then I go back and I immediately get it back. So it's the same design, but I get 10 more deck size, and it's a much one of the strongest, basically is the strongest air carrier you can start the game with. So let's say later I wanna build some destroyers here, and I wanna fight against Germany. I wanna beat the German submarines. What you have to do is go here. You wanna get the depth charge thrower. Now, because of you have this one, only 30 political power, which is not much, you can change between those at any time. Let's go for this one, because after this I'm gonna show you a design for the screens. So let's say you wanna make a pretty decent destroyer. To fight out submarines, you wanna put the depth charges here. Also, you can put here depth charges, leave the anti-air 2 here. You can put the sonar, put some torpedoes here. And this is a pretty decent one just to hunt submarines if Germany is harassing you around your island. And now let's go for the screens. Your navy is gonna consist, this is the bread and butter of your navy basically. So here is the design. You don't really need this one here. You can take it, you can take sonar. I don't think sonar is worth it because you don't hunt submarines with this one. This one is for killing destroyers and other screens, so you need the light attack as high as possible. And also you get here, you get the bonus from here because you change from this one to this one. It's only 30 political power and you don't need to waste 150 every time you need to make a new design. And if you plan it well, you can only change it 1 or 2 times. Submarine design, which is actually better to use this one here. It's better to use this one because of the production cost. You don't really care about the range. I would go with this one or maybe, and this is a pretty early design submarine. You can always here later, once you get this, you put the snorkel here. And the same goes with every other ship. Once you unlock the carrier, the next carriers, come here, put the designer you want, and make the new design. So that's about it for the navy designing. Now let's see about here, about your laws and everything here. Now, as early as possible, you should be going for the early mobilization. Your first one you should pick is this one. You should get the political power as early as possible. Your next one should be free trade and getting out of the civilian economy. Your next one should also be industrial maybe. At around this point, you will also go for the light aircraft designer to research the fighters, or even go here for the military factor construction speed to build your military factories later on. Also here, once you go to war, you go here, you take all the advisors that are better for attacking and defending. Here, this one for infantry, this one for the recovery, division attrition if you want. The air superiority is also good for the air, and so on. Now here for your officer corps, what I like to do always is go here. If you stay here, if you stay on the on the Grand Battle Plan doctrine, this one is actually good because it gives -5 supply, -5 navy, and -5 fuel, which doesn't really matter. Or if you got superior firepower, you can always do victory or death. And now for your doctrine, I always go with superior firepower. I think it's the best doctrine. And for UK, I would go this path here. But you can always play around with this one and go down this path, which I think is the best one. Now here for your navy doctrine, I think this one, the base strike, is the best one, going like this and unlocking it. Here you want this one is good. Here I think one of the strongest, bad weather penalty -40%. This one is actually really worth it because if you fight in a storm, it's basically guaranteed you are gonna win if you have about the same size of a fleet. So this one is really strong. Now for your air force, this one is good, very good. And for your air doctrine, it's always the best option to go with operational integrity. Now a little bit about your navy management here, because UK has navy all around the world. What I like to do, just take them all and make them into one big pile, basically. Take them here, tell them all to come back to home. I'll unpause the game, and they all come here. When I press shift and control, they will stop training once they are ready, so I don't waste all my fuel, because you don't have infinite fuel, you are not the USA. Also here for your navy, go here on the auto and put them in your home fleet, so you don't have random ships appearing and they are not in your main fleet, so you don't have to micromanage everything. Now also for your Air Force, what I like to do is you don't really need the carriers at the start. You can make it later on, or you can leave them if you want. I like to delete them. Also I like to delete those and just leave my close air support and my fighters. Delete everything. I like to take them. You can put him here in London and you can just train them at the start of the game if you want, just to gain more XP, which means you're gonna be much faster at making this design for your Hurricane, because you don't wanna build biplanes at the start of the game. So that's all about it for the United Kingdom. If you like the video, leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment below, and see you all next time.